The Hardy-Coleman house, perhaps known better as the Allan Lucy Murder House, is a two-story neoclassical Alabama mansion built in 1918. The home was originally built for James Coleman, a local merchant. He lived in the mansion with his wife Emma and sons Dew and Victor. Later, Philip and Margaret Lucy purchased the home, and here is where the mansion became a murder house. In 1978, a young boy named Allan joined the Lucy household through adoption. Birthchild of Willard D. Marvel and Ardella Mae Narrigan in Lee County, Florida, Allan was removed from his home by Florida's Child Services at the age of 7 after his parents divorced. The Lucys then adopted him, but tragedy struck in spring 1985 when 13-year-old Allan vanished. His adoptive parents told authorities he had simply not returned from school, suggesting behavioral issues and a possible flight to Florida to join friends. The situation took a darker turn when Jason, the Lucys' biological son, revealed a disturbing alternative account. According to Jason, he witnessed a violent confrontation between Allan and Philip in their kitchen, after which Allan lay motionless on the floor following a blow to the head. Later, Jason observed his father outside, dirt-covered and carrying a shovel. Despite Jason's persistent attempts to alert others about what he had witnessed, his claims were dismissed. Officials launched a missing person investigation, with Allan's image appearing on milk cartons and flyers, but eventually the case grew cold. In 1993, following fire damage, the Lucys sold their property to a Washington-based home restoration enthusiast. During subsequent renovations, workers made a grim discovery beneath the front porch. Skeletal remains wrapped in cartoon bed sheets in a plastic bag, later identified as Allan's. In a strange twist of fate, just a week before this discovery, Philip and Margaret had been arrested for allegedly setting fire to their former home to collect on a recently purchased $119,000 insurance policy. After investigating Allan's death, authorities charged Philip with murder. Jason testified against his father during the proceedings. Margaret divorced Philip shortly after his arrest and succumbed to cancer in December 1998. Following multiple appeals, Philip was finally convicted of Allan's murder in 2001 and received a life sentence. However, the day after sentencing, he ended his life by hanging himself with bed sheets in his cell. In a final act of community compassion, Perry County residents raised funds to provide Allan with a proper burial.
John List was an American accountant who committed one of the most notorious crimes in U.S. history. In 1971, facing financial ruin and consumed by religious delusions, List meticulously planned and executed the murder of his wife, mother, and 3 teenage children in their New Jersey mansion known as Breeze Knoll. List laid the bodies out on sleeping bags in the home's ballroom. He managed to evade capture for nearly 18 years, adopting a new identity and starting a new life in another state. It wasn't until the television show America's Most Wanted aired a segment on his case in 1989 that List was finally apprehended and brought to justice. His chilling story remains a haunting reminder of the depths of human darkness. Breeze Knoll Mansion burned to the ground in a suspicious fire in 1972.
On a dark spring night in June of 1912, 8 people, the entire family of Josiah Moore, including his wife, 4 children ages 5 to 11, and 2 of the oldest daughter's overnight guests, were murdered in this Villisca, Iowa, house by an unknown assailant. Reminiscent of Lizzie Borden in a gruesome attack, the assailant bludgeoned to death the whole household with an axe. The evening before the murders seemed like any other for the well-to-do family. They all had attended the Children's Day program at the Presbyterian Church and had arrived home around 10 p.m. When a neighbor noticed none of the family had arisen for their morning chores the next day, she became concerned and called Josiah's brother. He was able to unlock the door, where he discovered all 8 bodies in their respective bedrooms. 2 cigarette butts were found in the attic, which led investigators to believe the assailant or assailants were waiting until the family had gone to sleep. They used the blade of the axe on Josiah such that his eyes were missing, while the blunt end inflicted the fatal blows to the rest of the family. Forensics definitely were not what they are today. This is a 1912 newspaper article that suggests the killer might be revealed by looking into a photograph of one of the victim's eyes, 12-year-old Edith Stillinger. The case made national headlines, and while many suspects were questioned and even tried twice, the mass murder remains unsolved to this day. Today, the house may be booked for tours. Personal accounts indicate cold spots, disembodied footsteps, and voices as the common occurrences. Audio and visual of the children are also widely reported, with guests most often reporting laughing and crying. Some have even heard the voices of children telling others to hide, and in one instance when asked, an apparition turned a flashlight on and off several times.